Now we are going to present another item for consideration. This is the item 8B.37. Le colline de prosecco di Conegliano a Valdobbiadene, Italy. The draft decision concerning this item will be presented by ICOMOS. Please, ICOMOS, you are welcome.
Good afternoon. The ICOMOS evaluation of this nomination can be found in document INF 8B1 add on page 12 of the English version and page 38 of the French version. The nominated cultural landscape is located in the Veneto region of Italy and is a smaller portion of the region's large prosecco wine production area. The World Heritage Committee referred back this nomination at its 42nd session in Manama last year and requested the state party to refocus the proposed outstanding universal value, refine the boundary and buffer zone, and complete an aspect of the protection of the property. In July 2018, the state party requested the assistance of ICOMOS. Through an advisory mission and other exchanges, this dialogue enabled a complete reconceptualization of the justification of outstanding universal value, enabling a sharpened consideration of attributes, selection of criteria, review of issues of authenticity and integrity, and reconsideration of the boundary and buffer zone. The previously nominated area, shown on this slide, of over 20,000 hectares was similar to the designation of the Conegliano, Valdobbiadene, Prosecco Superiore DCOG area, with a buffer zone of more than 23,000 hectares. The property now consists of an area of just over 9,000 hectares, focused on the hogback landform and vineyard areas. The buffer zone has also been reduced. These changes have allowed the state party to focus on the areas of greatest authenticity and integrity, and to exclude areas that were not coherent in relation to the history, land use, condition, and character. The landscape is characterized by hogback hills, small vineyards on steep inclines with narrow grassy terraces called ciglioni, creating a mosaic patterning or patchwork of forests, small settlements, and vineyards, all combining to provide spectacular views. The revised focus is on the interaction of human settlement in the specific topographical context of the hogbacks. Land use practices give the landscape its distinctive checkerboard appearance with rows of high vines known as balucera, interspersed with rural settlements and forests. Careful management of water, forests, and erosion have also contribute to the distinctive characteristics of the landscape. Because of the steep terrain, much of the vineyard work is done by hand. Sustaining ecological processes is important to support the values of this landscape. The revisions to the boundary and justification to accord with the hogback landform has assisted a more coherent justification for outstanding universal value according to criterion 5. While changes have occurred and various challenges remain, the revised nominated property meets the requirements of integrity and authenticity. The boundary and buffer zone are appropriately delineated. The factors affecting the nominated property include urban development and expansion, agricultural transformations, landslides, and demographic and socio-economic shifts. Poor quality infrastructure, urbanisation, and industrial constructions in the buffer zone detrimentally impact on the setting, and there are buildings in the property and buffer zone in poor condition. Future wind and solar power installations in the buffer zone could also create a detrimental impact in the future. The legal protection and management system for the property are adequate, although further implementation is needed. In 2018, the World Heritage Committee indicated 3 bases for the previous nomination to be referred back. The first requested the state party to redefine the nomination, refocusing the potential outstanding universal value on criteria 4 and 5. Through this dialogue with ICOMOS, the state party has opted to present the nomination on the basis of criterion 5 alone. The second asked the state party to redefine the boundaries and buffer zones. ICOMOS considers that this has been crucial to the improvement of the nomination and has underpinned a more coherent nomination. The final point asked the state party to complete the adoption process by the 28 concerned municipalities of the rule Articolo Unico. This has been achieved. To conclude, ICOMOS recommends that the colline del prosecco di Conegliano e Valdobbiadene, Italy, be inscribed in the World Heritage List, and has included a number of further, on basis of criterion 5, and has included a number of further recommendations in the draft decision to aid the long-term conservation of the property. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. May I have comments from the committee members? Tunisia, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me, on behalf of Tunisia, first of all, thank ICOMOS for the report, the written report transmitted to us, or the oral report that you just delivered. Let me thank the state party in particular, which, following last year's decision, kept contact with the advisory bodies and made a certain number of significant changes to its application, thanks to which the recommendation of inscription that Tunisia supports was drafted. But for the sake of consistency, because we've been speaking consistently this morning, we've seen since last year that there were some aspects of the application that enabled inscription, and we're pleased with the fact that following the modifications made, a lot of observers and scientists have found that the proposal in this case can be accepted, a proposal of inscription. We recognize that, and we thank the member state for making, or the state party for making these efforts.
Spain, please.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This is an application that's well constituted, that's well presented, and it's a combination of a good project with a respect for the standards. No one wants an application to be referred. What the state did was to take the advice from the advisory body, and we have a good application for inscription. This evolving cultural landscape, which dates back to the 17th century, has certain features that have traversed human history, and because of geography, that allows for the development and the survival of the community. The local community is always at the base of such a project, and this, perhaps the local community, as always, which is making the request, should be in charge of ensuring that the constant temptations offered by progress and industrial progress not be heeded, in order not to damage an element that in a few minutes will become part of the heritage of humanity. We'd like to thank Italy and express our trust in the state party to follow the recommendations and to make sure that this place in the world will be kept as it is and will be worthy of remaining on the list. Congratulations to the state party, and congratulations to ICOMOS for the work accomplished, and we really support this inscription.
Thank you very much. Uganda, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this heritage property, which is located in northern Italy, in a spectacular sequence of hills, is a melting pot of tasty Italian wines. The steep gradient of the host hills has dictated non-mechanized propagation of the vineyards by the wine growers since the 1800s. In other words, Mr. Chairman, the state part of Italy is presenting to us a viticulture's landscape born out of unique interface between nature and man. For over centuries, Mr. Chairman, this landscape denotes the evolution of best custom-tailored land use practices spanning unique stabilization of the slopes, yet interspersed with forests, small woods, and rural settlements. Respectively, Mr. Chairman, the delegation of Uganda is satisfied with the draft decision to inscribe this property on the World Heritage List as an outstanding example of mixed human interaction with the environment, unique viticulture land use, and traditional human settlements as echoed by Criterion 5 of the Convention's operational guidelines. I congratulate the State Party of Italy and thank ICOMOS for the very wonderful presentation of this nomination. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Brazil, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's just a very brief intervention to congratulate the delegation of Italy for the very hard work done since the adoption of our decision last year in Manama concerning this site. I think that we are facing a case, a very successful case of a referral, which led the coordination with the advisory bodies, who today present, the advisory bodies present a very successful, a very positive report based on the work done by the country. So I would very much like to congratulate Italy on this beautiful nomination. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Azerbaijan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think there is no reason to speak about the value of the site, as it speaks for itself, and it is really very visible from this photo. It's exceptional cultural landscape where we can see a testimony of interaction, the human interaction with the environment and with the nature. And of course, we congratulate the State Party in Italy for this work, and as it is already expressed by colleagues, after the referral decision in Bahrain, their work and the cooperation with the ICOMOS, and this really dialogue and the engagement with the ICOMOS makes this nomination today is successful. So we congratulate wholeheartedly the Italy for this and announce it's prosecco time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hungary.
Dear Chairperson, thank you very much for giving me the floor. Only to be short, I would like to join to the previous speakers. First of all, to Brazil, because I see that we have, on the one side, a very successful, a good nomination, which could be evaluated by ICOMOS successfully and with a proposal to be for inscription. And secondly, because I can remember to the discussion held about this nomination in the previous year in Manama. And let me refer that the decision of referral has its meaning exactly like in this case, because it is the meaning and it is the significance of referral to give the possibility to a state party to enhance and corroborate its nomination and to return with the new back, and then the advisory body gives the possibility and gives a good proposal for the inscription. So let me congratulate Italy, and thanks for ICOMOS for the evaluation.
Thank you very much. China, please.
Thank you, Chair. China wishes to join the previous speakers in congratulating Italy for a very successful nomination and inscription. We wish to use this opportunity also to commend the wonderful job ICOMOS has done. We all remember the last year, it was the case when encountered the difficulties, and then we noted with great satisfaction that the ICOMOS and Italy worked together. So it is a classical example of close collaboration between advisory body and the state parties involved in solving a case and presenting a beautiful property. And we congratulate the state party of Italy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Guatemala, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We agree with the other members of the committee who spoke before us. The OUV of the site is a reality, and it's recognized as an example of the relation between society and nature in the long run. At the previous meeting of the committee, Guatemala supported the decision to refer this application, and now we have a file which meets all the requisites for inscription. We'd like to congratulate the state party for implementing the measures relating to the nomination, and we're about to inscribe a new site on the World Heritage List. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have one non-governmental organization which wanted to make intervention. Please, you are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Pesticide Action Network Italy and World Heritage Watch, I kindly urge you not to inscribe Prosecco Hills as a World Heritage. The nomination of Prosecco is highly contentious in the region. Hazardous pesticides are intensely used over the entire vineyard areas, both urban and rural. They have already proven adverse effects on the health of the local population and the quality of life in the region. People suffer from them day by day. For years, citizens of the Prosecco region have been strongly protesting against the nomination. Local residents, together with numerous organizations, have been organizing marches, petitions, and sit-in protests demanding to stop the process of inscription until the use of hazardous pesticides is stopped and the well-being and health of habitants are ensured. Most recently, on the 28th of June, when a group of residents organized a sit-in in front of the UNESCO building in Venice. Unfortunately, UNESCO has not yet developed procedures for the management and control of the use of synthetic pesticides, despite having them declared as a threat as early as 1972, but also in 3 other official UNESCO documents. The nomination of Prosecco has revealed the urgency that the committee should adopt a policy document that the World Heritage status is incompatible with the use of toxic pesticides, and that World Heritage properties and their buffer zones must be free from their use, or at least provide a scheme for a progressive ban whose implementation is monitored by UNESCO. Do you really want to pass on to future generations a model of a polluting industrialized monoculture as a world cultural heritage, where its residents suffer from its effects and continuously fight for a change? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. We will take note for our documents. So, as far as I understand, there are no other comments from the committee members. No. Should we don't have any additional draft?
No amendments.
Okay, so as far as there is no another amendments and additions to the draft, I propose to approve the document in common. Therefore, declare decision 43 8B.37 adopted as amended. Our sincere congratulations to Italy, and you are welcome to make your intervention on behalf of the State Party. Welcome.
Honorable President, my sincere gratitude to the government of Azerbaijan for organizing the current session of the committee and for its gracious hospitality. I would like to thank the committee members and all the states representatives for the decision to approve this inscription. This confirms the global consideration for my country's outstanding natural and cultural heritage, as well as the commitment of the Italian authorities in favor of the UNESCO. This is a great recognition for Italy and for the Veneto region that has been able to value the extraordinary scenic qualities and the traditional features of a distinctive cultural landscape of exceptional global value. This authentic landscape is the expression of an agricultural mosaic unique in the world, the result of the hard and passionate work of men and women, always pursued in a sustainable and lasting manner. Looking forward, we have therefore as even more exciting challenges in terms of preserving, protecting, and managing the specific and traditional attributes of the attractive territories as a universal heritage to be transmitted to the future generation for the benefit of mankind. Finally, I wish to express gratitude to all those who believed and contributed to the realization of this wonderful project, which we considered as a starting point to the future. It will be essential to continue with the same efforts and dedication in order to fully exploit the potential of the prosecco hills of Conegliano and Valdobbiadene. In this regard, I am pleased to give the floor to the President and friend of the Veneto region, Luca Zaia, accompanied by Undersecretaries Picchi and Borgonzoni. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. There are so many people who would like to thank today. First of all, UNESCO, the President of the World Heritage Committee and all its members, the President of ICOMOS and its staff, the Scientific Committee, the Italian government. With me today are my friend, Agriculture Minister, Mr. Centinaio, and the people, the farmers and the families that live in the wonderful area of the Prosecco Hill. I'm really enthusiastic about the inclusion of the Prosecco Hills in the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites. This inclusion makes us more responsible towards our territory, which is now part of the entire world's heritage. Our commitment now is to preserve the exceptional site for our future generations. After 10 years of hard work, we can finally celebrate a unique moment in which we feel really proud for this achievement and then for enjoying the UNESCO World. The Prosecco Hills perfectly represent an outstanding example of traditional human settlement and the land use representative of a specific culture resulting from human interaction with the environment. From now on, our aim is to do our best to obtain the most fruitful results from the UNESCO designation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and once more congratulations on behalf of all members of the committee to the State Party of Italy. Now we proceed to the next nomination, which is done under the number 8B.38. It is connected with the 20th century architecture of Frank Lloyd Wright from United States of America. And before going to presentation, I would like to ask Mr. Balzano to give some clarification.